Hello everyone, this is Nicholas Elvis talking tonight. As you can see, I got my face shield on. I wear this kind of as a mask for my sensory overload because of the COVID-19 virus. I'm just gonna go over that tonight. Um, Self-awareness and sensory overload. Hold on, I'll be right back. So tonight we are going to focus on sensory overload and some things to help it. I do not know how long this video will be. It might be 10 minutes, might be a half an hour. Depends. Let's just say you got sensory overload. I show you guys my face shield already. It works for me at work. Where I work is pretty accommodative to wearing the face shield. It did require a doctor's note and accommodation from human resources or the hiring manager, but most companies do allow it. It does help me a lot at work because the mask causes me to get really hot, get really sweaty, and it was causing me anxiety and panic attacks at my previous job. As you know, I do not preview or talk about previous employers or talk about my current employer. My current employer is really good, really awesome. My last employer was really good too. I don't name locations because of just because I don't want to. Sometimes when you're at work, you should. I have some people say, "Well, Nick, you kind of look like you are staring into space at work, like spacing out, and you're in your own world." Well, yes and no. I mean that body language says a lot about yourself. But sometimes when you have Asperger's and autism, it's hard to read people. It's hard to read even me. I'm not the most easygoing person, but like I said, when I'm at work, I've had people say in the past I stare a lot. That may be somewhat true, but I would say to make an assumption that you're just staring at someone isn't right, because sometimes those people with Asperger's, we kind of zone out for a second. We got stuff on our mind. We having a hard time processing things. Sometimes I find that having a list helps me process things better. Like, let's just say I want to put out some clothing in the clothing department I work on. So I go around and I copy the numbers of each product number and I put it out on the sales floor. That helps me concentrate better. I notice like sometimes I'll accidentally leave my lunchbox at work. And I'm like, well, sometimes I work the closing shift till 8:30 or till 8 o'clock. And I'm halfway out to my car and I realize I'm halfway home and the store I work at isn't open 24/7. I mean, it's, like I said, it's a great place to work, but I have to wait till the next day to get my lunchbox. That's no big deal. I usually go up and visit my parents since they live about an hour from here. My work is about 10-15 minutes from here. It's one of those things where sometimes it's hard to even remember your lunchbox because you got so much on your mind. I don't know if it's from I think sometimes it could be from the anxiety, sometimes it could be from the stress. It could be because we are overloaded. Overloaded, the sensory overload. Or it could just mean that there's too much on our mind. Some ways to maybe remember things would be try to write it down, maybe set an alarm in your phone. Don't forget lunchbox at work, or don't forget your coat at work. You may take a coat at work in the summer because sometimes in the summer here in Wisconsin we have extreme temperatures, and you forget the coat at work. There's been times I've forgotten my winter hat at work. It's like it's hard to stay focused on one thing because my brain is always moving from one thing to another really quickly. I also have ADHD or ADD, attention deficit disorder. To try to stay concentrate is really hard for me, but sometimes if it's a particular topic, it's easier to stay on task. But if it's something that doesn't really interest me, sometimes you just got to try to stay focused. At work, you're pretty much required to stay focused. Ways of staying focused is having a list, like I said before, chronological order. I do think people with Asperger should have a routine that they do every day. Starting things in a different order. Well, you get up at like, let's say 8 a.m. in the morning, you have your coffee, you have your breakfast, whatever you have for breakfast. Maybe you have a banana or an apple, and then maybe you read for an hour or something, and then you might go for a walk or go biking or something if you like biking or sports, or you might watch a little TV or play video games. I'm not really a video gamer. I do have some old video gaming systems, which is cool. I never really got addicted to video gaming, but I do love some of the old games. And just try to find yourself a hobby that you can help relieve anxiety and stress and try to bring down your sensory overload. There are certain things that can trigger sensory overload. Like I said before, usually what triggers mine is hot weather, cold extreme temperatures. I do have a condition called rheumatoid arthritis. This has nothing to do with Asperger's or autism, but it can be pretty. I usually feel a little off when there's a cold front coming through, a cold weather system coming through. My knees and joints and stuff will hurt. That causes my sensory overload to go up too, but not much. I am on a medication for the rheumatoid arthritis. I don't diagnose people. I don't intend to diagnose people, so it's just a disclosure. I'm willing to talk to people, so if you ever feel like emailing me, I do provide my email below and a link. I do have some Facebook support groups that I do run. I have a Facebook support page for Asperger support and awareness. Right now I'm working on a series on job interviewing skills and job seeking. I am hoping this will help everybody. I can't guarantee you that a job will be a good fit for you, but I can try to help you as much as I can. But let's go back to sensory overload and the mask thing. Also, like, wearing the masks and stuff really isn't a bad thing, but it can fog your glasses up. As you know, I wear glasses. I work on the sales floor in the men's clothing department, so if your glasses fog up, that can be kind of dangerous when you're pushing a cart round of clothes or pushing a rack of shirts and coats. That can be really dangerous. Also can be dangerous while you're driving too. I don't recommend driving and wearing a face mask, especially if your glasses fog up like mine. Most people's glasses fog up when you wear a mask. Is it safe? I mean, I wish there was some way you could defog your glasses, because frankly, it's very hard. I mean, you got lights and stuff. I can't even drive at night anymore because my sensory overload is so bad, so sensitive to light. It's almost like the light is piercing to me. That went away a long time ago. I don't know if it has something to do with my age, because I'm in my mid-30s. I'm 34 now, and I'm just really sensitive to light at night. It might have something. Maybe it's just the headlights on my car. Maybe they need to be cleaned or something. I don't know. But other factors in the sensory overload. Certain smells can increase my sensory overload, like cologne or perfume. I mean, I have nothing against cologne or people wearing cologne, but some of the smells can cause a sensory overload to not be good. I did have nose surgery done a couple years ago for a deviated spectrum, or deviated septum in my nose, not spectrum. And I noticed before I couldn't even smell very well. Couldn't smell things very well. So now, after I had the surgery, I can smell things better. And it increased my sensory sensitivity to smell a little bit. Not to the point where, actually sometimes to the point, even like some of the clothing softener that we put out on the shelf when I was working at the grocery store at my previous employer, it would cause me to get a headache. It's probably not even healthy even for a normal person to breathe that smell in. It's even worse when you have a mask on. I mean, it causes more sensory overload. I noticed one day I was getting gas, or petrol, they would call it in international, or in England. But the smell is a lot worse when you're wearing a mask. Don't ask me why. I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but that's what I noticed. And that does, and the smell of gas does give me a headache. That causes a little bit of a sensory overload too. Loud music sometimes can cause some issues for me. Not all the time, but it does. To deal with that, if I do feel like I'm too anxious to drive with music on, I just turn the music off. I do not text while I'm driving. I will occasionally. I do have a hands-free speaker in my car that my phone can go through, that I can make phone calls in my car, but I rarely talk on the phone when I'm driving. I mean, I don't recommend anybody with Asperger's or autism or ADD or ADHD even to use the phone during driving. I mean, a neurotypical person shouldn't even be using the phone while driving. I mean, it's pretty much common sense. Common symptoms of Asperger's: you're socially awkward, you look socially awkward, you got bad balance, I have bad hand-eye coordination. I don't know if that's true for the rest of you guys or not, but I do. I did walk on my tippy toes when I was young. That's kind of a sign, maybe. Of course, sometimes it's just normal, you being a kid. That's why you're walking on your toes. kids are kids. They do what they do. We do weird stuff when we're kids. I think sometimes kids just do it for attention. But I mean, if it comes to the point where I did have a speech and language therapy when I was young because I was kind of speech delayed. You may not be able to tell that now. I rarely share about the speech delayment. I was in that for a couple of years. I will talk more about that in the future. I will open up more about that. We'll probably do a video on that somewhere in the future, and how we progress up to a diagnosis of Asperger's. But right now my primary focus is on this video is focusing on sensory overload. I know sometimes I may go off topic, but that's kind of how I am. I mean, we could, I don't know, I might open the comments below and you can, I'm going to open the comments below and you can suggest topics for me. That's something I'm going to do at the end of this video once it's uploaded. I just want to get some more topics because I think eventually I will run out of topics to come up with. I'm not going to do videos every day. I'll try to do maybe 2 a week, maybe. Share my experiences. I don't know, there's not much I can say. Sensitivity to light. I'm a bit sensitive to light. That's pretty much normal. When I was younger, I was really super sensitive to light to the point where I had prescription sunglasses. Is that for everyone? No. Not everyone's going to need prescription sunglasses. My glasses I got on right now tint when I go outside. That kind of helps out. Helps the sensory overload. Plus I'm sensitive to light anyways. Most people are somewhat sensitive to light regardless if you have blue eyes or brown eyes or, that's pretty much normal. It seems worse for people with Asperger's. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't talked to any other friends that have had issues with sensitivity to light, but I think it's pretty common from what I've heard. I think it's pretty common, but I'll have to research into that and look into it. Like even this light from this camera that I'm doing this video with can cause a little bit of headache. I certainly wish there was a way I could turn it off. Obviously, if I turn it off, it's not going to record my video. That's kind of a disadvantage with using the computer. If I use my phone, I could. It doesn't shine a light like the laptop. But this laptop is like 10 years old. I mean, I'm surprised it still even works. As for other things for sensory overload, heat, try to stay in a cool place, drink a lot of water, try to stay hydrated in the summer. The winter when it's really cold, if it causes you sensory overload, try to dress up warmer. Wear cold outside. Obviously this time of year you should be wearing a coat outside, but I try to stay off the road and stuff when it's really cold. If it's like 25 degrees below 0, you may not find me out driving somewhere. And as as many miles as my car has on it. I don't trust driving it very far in the cold weather. That can cause some sensory overload too, and that's not good either. If you like my video, you can click subscribe, click like, and if you want to follow my page on Facebook, you can. I will provide a link eventually. I'm not sure if we'll get around to it tonight, but I hope everyone has a great night, a good evening, and until next time, have a great week. And this is Nicholas Ellis signing off.